First, James, can we start with the goal you nearly scored on Saturday? Tell us a bit about this and the pass that set you on.
Yeah, it was just one of them. Obviously, I came on to try and see the game out, but the gaffer's got a big thing about scoring the next goal and trying to take the game away from them. And I seen the ball building up down the left, and I felt like I had a lot of energy at the time. I'd just come on, which was a bad idea because I was tired after that. But no, Billy got the ball, and I know Billy's got some real good quality, so I thought he'd see me, and then it was just a case of trying to get it on target. And unfortunately, it wasn't as powerful as I'd liked, but we got a corner from it, so I'll take it.
And actually, your kind of first home league minutes as well, which seems a bit surprising when we were looking back.
Yeah, no, it's been a tough time with regards to coming in. Obviously, just done pre-season and the first 2 games, and then get injured and I'm out until start of November. So it's been frustrating, but I'm back now, feeling good. It was obviously nice to play at home and in front of the fans, and lucky to get the win. Not lucky, I think we did deserve it, but with the way the goal came, obviously it's a horrible feeling getting subbed on and then losing the lead. So when Finn scored that, I was just so relieved, and you could see in the celebrations that it meant a lot.
And for you, I guess, in a sense that if you're looking for minutes, this game comes at the right time.
Yeah, no, for sure. I was talking to the gaffer last week, and I was just saying, it's a hard one because there's no real chance to, we're obviously in a real good position in the league, and it's not like you can just give minutes away, especially when people aren't ready or fit. So you have the game tomorrow, it's perfect really, get some minutes. Managed to get some in the last game against West Ham, so it's just a case of me building up, and hopefully if I can get some good minutes in tomorrow, then I'll be ready to go, hopefully ready to start in the league.
And what's the challenge of playing at a ground where it is going to be, politely shall we say, pretty echoey, I would think at least?
Yeah, well, we've done it a few times, obviously with my time at Wimbledon. We played there a couple of times, had some really good results there, and even in such a big derby, it's still quite, it's such a big stadium, trying to fill it, it's nowhere near full, so it's a weird one. It feels almost like a bit of like a Bristol Street Motors game, because it's that's kind of how the stadiums are, they're not full, but hopefully it can our fans can bring a bit of atmosphere, and we can get the result.
How would you kind of broadly compare the kind of atmosphere within the group compared to the one you had at Wimbledon last year that eventually got you up?
It's tough, obviously when I first came in, it was, you get so close with the group, after achieving success, like I'm friends with pretty much all that change room still from last year, and then coming into a new environment, a new change room, it does take a while to settle in, and I felt that when I came here, but really grown into the group now, and we have got a really good group of lads and good footballers, so I think we do definitely have what it needs to hopefully get us over the line this year.
And of course you'll have Lewis Ward behind you in goal, who you'll know well from last.
Yeah, well, I played with him a few times, probably in this tournament last year as well, and obviously this year we played together in the West Ham game just gone. Know Lewis well, and it's obviously good for him to get some minutes as well, so yeah, it should be a good exercise tomorrow.
I mean, overall you've obviously had this sort of kind of frustration with injuries. How do you sort of handle that, and how much you're hoping this is a real chance for you to kick on?
Yeah, that's it. Obviously I had the same injury last year, which is just really unlucky. After speaking to the surgeon and stuff, he said like to do it once is very unlucky with the type of injury it is. It's not common at all. It's not a twisting injury. It's not a muscle injury. It's more just down to impact. And you've probably fallen on your knees, thousands of times in your life. And I've done it twice in 2 seasons and torn ligaments both times. I mean, fortunately they weren't too bad. The tears weren't that bad, but they were enough to keep me out for a while. But I knew kind of it wasn't as bad as the one I did last year, so I was a bit more positive. But I felt like this time I knew what to do to kind of manage the injury, whereas last year it was the first time I'd ever done it, so it was a bit unknown, whereas this year I kind of knew and recognised when I needed to maybe come off it and not push on as much, and then when I felt that it was ready to go, then I pushed on. So I think that was kind of good for me to know the injury so that I could manage it better this year.
And you've in your career, sometimes played at the back, sometimes played in midfield. So what's the challenge of kind of switching between the two roles? How much does the mindset have to change?
Yeah, it is tough, to be honest. You know, obviously not knowing where you're going to come on in a game. I mean, most people probably know where they're going to play. You know, I'm kind of sat on the bench and I'm looking, I'm thinking, oh, the gaffer will say, "Oh, get ready," and I'm looking at it thinking, is it in midfield or at the back? I've played at midfield all my career, pretty much, so you know, it's not a problem. But I just think coming here, you know, a big kind of pull for me coming here was that I could play in the middle of that back three. Did it really well last year for the short period and enjoyed it. And I think, you know, kind of getting to the stage in my career now where I'm, you know, class myself as experienced, being back there, you know, it's a bit less intense than it is in the middle, you know, and I feel like it really suits my game.
I don't think you've got bad sort of goal scoring record, certainly at National League level, have you? So that sounds a bit surprising. Perhaps you might want to drop back.
Yeah, no, I mean, you know, when I was younger, I was, you know, kind of goal scoring midfielder. You know, like you said, I signed for Rochdale and scored a load of goals when I first went in there, and then again got injured, a real unlucky one again, and that kind of saw me out for 4 or 5 months with a groin injury, and then didn't really hit the ground running again with regards to goal scoring or anything like that. So went to Wimbledon, you know, and kind of the system there didn't really allow for maybe so much of an attacking midfielder. It was more 2 holding midfielders. So then ended up playing in that role. And then it just kind of became normal for me to maybe stay further back a little bit. But I did play centre half when I was a kid, when I was at Bolton. When I was coming through, I was a centre half. So it's kind of not, you know, maybe if you're onlooking, you don't know the details, it would be a bit more surprising. But for me, it feels quite natural because I did it for years. So yeah, no, I mean, wherever I play, if I'm on the pitch, I'm usually pretty happy. So just keep getting me on the pitch, I guess.
Lovely, thank you very much.
Thank you.
What's it been like as a group when it feels like for one reason or another quite a few people have been dropping out in the last couple of weeks? How do you kind of react to that as a group?
Yeah, it's been tough. I mean, you know, just real unexpected injuries. You know, Joey did it in training, something pretty innocuous really. He had a sore hamstring, and then Tom Wilson-Brown last week hurt his groin, you know, and then at the same time it seems like other people got ill. You know, it's that time of the year when people do start coming down with illnesses. So it's been tough. I mean, obviously you can see in the team selection and, you know, the squad selection on Saturday, we're missing a lot of players. I mean, it's, you know, it's good for the lads who haven't been getting minutes to get back in the fold again. But hopefully none of them are too bad. You know, I know the skip's back in today and Gav's back in today. So fingers crossed we can get everyone back fit and have you know, a strong squad.
When you have kind of 2 games in a row where you win in quite dramatic circumstances, that quite helpful for buoyant things as well?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it would have been a real kick in the teeth if they'd have managed to get anything out of that game, because I don't really think they came with any other intention of maybe getting a draw at best. You know, they didn't really show any attacking threat throughout the game. I thought, you know, we were okay. We weren't as good as we've been at times this year, but the game just kind of ended up being that way. You know, you get them games in League Two where they're quite even, they're quite scrappy, but I think ultimately we did enough to win. So just really relieved that Finn managed to get us out of trouble and put one in the top corner.